I personally believe that most professionals do not understand the concept of self-hatred, because when you listen to the kind of advice that they give, it just shows that this person does not get it. So say things like you need to just say your affirmations, just be kinder to yourself. And while these things are true, they are helpful in themselves, but they are just pieces of the entire puzzle. It does not really solve the problem or provide solution to what is wrong. As someone who has struggled with self-hatred and over the past few years I've made some progress, I found a system that actually worked for me, and that's what I want to share with you in this video. If you watch this video to the end, you're going to have an entirely new relationship with yourself, and that will make all the difference. So let's get into it. The first thing you need to do is to take charge of the storytelling of your life. Now, whether you like it or not, you're already the storyteller of your life. But over the years, the fact that you hate yourself proves that you have been telling yourself negative stories. Now, you need to intentionally begin to frame the stories in your life in a way that is going to be helpful to you. And don't assume that you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, I want you to think about your past for a second. Think about 5 years before, 10 years before. Think about your childhood. And just remember the rejections, the failures, the disappointment you have experienced. Remember all the times that people did not show up for you. Remember the times that you were aiming for something. It looked as if it was going to work. You put in all your energy, and all of a sudden, it did not work. Now, as these things have accumulated in your life, what has happened is that you have gotten to a point where this has become data for you, and you use that to judge yourself as someone who is a failure, someone who is not good enough, someone who things will always not work out for as they want it to work out for. This right here is the root of your self-hatred. The situations around your life might be looking very bleak, but we're going to get to that. See, the fact that you experience so many disappointments does not fundamentally mean that something is wrong with you. I am not even trying to encourage you. I'm not trying to make you feel good. It's just a matter of fact. If I decide now that I am a wicked person, I want to go out here and slap the first person I see, it is my decision. It is my wrongdoing. It would be wrong for that person to begin to think that I am such a bad person. That's why this guy came to slap me. So that is how it is with the experiences we had while growing up as well. Life happens. People are just wicked. Situations go out of control. No matter how careful, no matter how good you are, things will just happen that are unpleasant. Even the best of people, the people who have never committed any sin in their life, bad things will still happen to them. So it is very unfair to now look at the bad things in your life, to look at the unpleasant experiences you had in your life, and put the blame on yourself. That it is because I am not a good person, it is because I am not worthy of love, that is why this thing is happening to me. And because you have continued to tell yourself this story all through your childhood, it has now formed as a conviction in your mind. And there's something in psychology called the confirmation bias, that once you believe something, you continue to spot events and situations around you to confirm what you already believe. So now that you already believe that something is wrong with you, now that you already believe that you are the problem, every time you go through every situation in your life, you will not pay attention unconsciously. You will not pay attention to the things that are working well. You will not pay attention to things that are working in your favor. The only thing your eyes and your mind will magnify are the things that prove that you are someone who is not good enough. So regardless of how ugly your life may look at the moment, the first step to change is not to try to change the situation in your life. Even if you change everything in your life, you get your dream job, your dream car, your dream spouse, and you are living a very comfortable life, you will still hate yourself, because your eyes has not been trained to see the good in your life. Now, I started by saying that you need to be in charge of the storytelling in your life. So now everything that is happening, you need to consciously choose not to replay that story of I am not good enough. And whenever you see good things happen, you need to consciously refuse to discard the good things because you still believe that you're not good enough. Be in charge of that story and tell them, okay, this thing happened because life happens. This thing happens because someone was negligent. This thing happened because I made a mistake. Does not necessarily mean I am a bad person who can never do anything good. And when good things happen, these good things happen because I put in the work to get what is good. Like, be in charge of this story. Don't just allow yourself to continue to flow in that negative pattern of storytelling that your mind had formed in childhood. That being said, changing the way you think is not enough, and this is where many self-help people get it wrong, because they just tell you to be more positive, look at the brighter side of things, but that does not work. If you look around your life, you still see many things that are unpleasant. Like, you don't just hate yourself because you hate yourself, but there are many things around you to hate. Like, your life is even unlovable. So that's what we are going to address next. Let me tell you something about humans. We only put effort and energy in things and people that we think are worth it. So if you see a guy going all around trying to make sacrifice for a girl, that's because he thinks she's worth it. That's why he's doing that. So in your life now that you have not loved yourself over the years, without knowing you, I can accurately predict that you have not been showing up for yourself as much as you should. It is even very likely that you make more sacrifices for other people. You make more sacrifices to please other people than you make sacrifices for yourself. And that is part of the problem of why your current life is stuck. It is still tied to what was happening, but now you will not just wait for your mind to completely change, but part of the things you are going to do to help your mind completely change, and to secondly change the situations around your life to make your life more lovable, is to begin to show up for yourself. Look at your life broadly and identify the things that you think will make your life more lovable. That, okay, these are the things I dislike about my life. These are the things I want to change. I don't like the fact that I am not in a relationship. I don't like the fact that I don't have any skill that can give me a substantial income. I don't like the fact that I don't have any friends. Now that you have identified all of this, you then set out a plan on how you can achieve them. But don't just stop there, and you now show up. You are showing up for two reasons. Now that you agree that you are someone who is worth making sacrifices for, you are going to be the first person who is going to commit to your business. That, okay, I am someone worth make sacrifice for, so I'm going to make sacrifice for myself. That's the first reason. And the second reason is to change the situations around your life. When you do this, you're going to experience two things. Number one, you're going to begin to gather enough evidence to prove that you are actually a lovable person. So now this is not about you just telling yourself that I am worthy, I am lovable. But when you look around your life, because things are changing, because you are showing up for yourself, you begin to gather real world data to prove to you that you have always been worthy. That's the first thing. And secondly, as you do this, your confidence is going to grow. Because part of the reasons why you love yourself is not just because of your past and your present circumstances, but the fact that you know you should stand up for yourself, but you are not standing up for yourself, is also making you hate yourself. The third step in this framework is to intentionally decide to run your own race. Now, if you even look at everything we have described so far, how the fact that you have to change your mind and begin to do this and begin to do this, that's just one more proof to show you that your life is running on a different timeline from that of others. So just double down on that and decide that based on this plan I have mapped out on the goals I want to achieve in my life, if the first thing I decide that I want to work on is to learn a skill in order to improve my finances, I will close my eyes to people around me who are getting married. I will close my eyes to people around me who are relocating to a new country, and I will commit to this goal that I have set for myself, which is learning a new skill to make money. What I'm emphasizing in a nutshell is that you should try as much as possible not to compare yourself with anybody. This is a lesson I need to emphasize for you who already hate yourself. If the goalpost of what you should pursue is set by other people, you will never reach your goal. Why? Because they will keep changing it. They are setting their own goals, they are doing new things. So before you even reach this goal, they have moved on to something else. So you now keep following them to chase what they chase, and you are not even satisfied because that is not what you want for your life. So now just stick with what you want for your life and commit to it. And this is not even me saying that you should not learn from other people or you should not allow other people inspire you. But you can tell when you are just jumping from one thing to another, because that's what looks shiny, that's what everybody else is doing. You can reassess your goals every now and then to determine if that is still something you want to chase, or that's something you want to move, or that's something you want to move away from. That is absolutely fine. But at least let there be some sense of direction that is inward, that this is what I want and I'm sticking with it until I am convinced that I want something else, or that getting something else is better than what I'm currently trying to get. That is the only time I'm going to change it. So Commit to running your own race and not the race of anybody else. If you don't even do this, you will not make any progress in your life. So your life will still be very unlovable, and you will continue to lose respect for yourself, and you will become more unlovable. So comparing yourself does not even benefit you in any way at all. Now I'm bringing this fourth framework next to show you that people are not inconsequential in your journey. So as much as I've said you should not compare yourself with anybody, that does not mean you should chase everybody out of your life and just isolate yourself. Now you need to surround yourself with people who can help you see yourself clearly, and people who can help you appreciate yourself. Now you're already running at a deficit. You already think you are not good enough. So it will not help you in the name of trying to get critical or constructive feedback to now surround yourself with people who are only speaking down at you. That is the same thing that caused the problem in your childhood. So that is not what you need now. You need people who can see through your flaws, people who can see through your strength, people who can see through your excesses. And in all of this, they will still say, I love you the way you are. I see you as someone who is respectable. I see you as someone who can achieve so much. And it is better that you are alone than for you to be surrounded by people who are going to put you down, because this is a battle that is happening. Your mind has always believed you are not good enough. Your mind have always believed that you are not lovable. So if you are now trying to convince yourself that you are actually lovable, and people around you are telling you you are not all that, it's going to take a toll on you. You are not going to believe what you are trying to tell yourself. But now, in addition to what you are telling yourself, the evidence you are gathering from the changes around your life, if people are also telling you that you are someone who is worthy and someone who is lovable, is going to strengthen your conviction, and the transformation process is going to be very fast. So choose your friends wisely. This might not necessarily mean that you just cut everybody off if they say anything that hurts you, but instead you intentionally tell them that, okay, I don't want you to speak to me this way and this way and this way. I want you to be more positive with your feedback. And if they say they cannot do that, then that might be some people that you need to give some space and distance yourself, not because you hate them, not because you are being selfish, but just because that is something you need at this point in your life. And now this will lead me to the very last point. Now if you look at the first 4 points that I have listed, is all work. You need to change your mind, you need to change your life, you need to change your friends, you need to, and everything else. But now the last and a very important step in getting to love yourself is to rest and do nothing. Doing nothing might be familiar to you, because if over the years you have not been showing up for yourself, and whenever you're supposed to chase a goal, you just end up doing nothing because you don't think it will even work out, or you don't think there's any point chasing it. Now we are going to rest with a different mindset, and the mindset you are resting with is that there's more to my life than achievement. There's more to my life than getting ahead. There's more to my life than being admirable or doing things that are impressive. By just being myself, I am someone who is lovable, I am someone who is worthy. And this lesson is not going to stick to your mind until you can rest. It is going to help you psychologically and help you physically. Let me talk about the physical part. Now, self-hatred is not just something that exists in the mind. Over the years, as you have run the stories through your mind, it is now in your body, it is now in your nervous system. There are now somatic responses. You are always at alert. You are always working in a hypervigilant mode, trying to avoid any situation that is going to cause you shame, trying to make sure that you appear in the best way possible. So your mind is constantly at alert, trying to impress, trying to do things well. So now you need to let all of that down and give yourself rest, and so you can take deep breath and actually feel like a real human being, instead of this way you have been feeling like an impression machine that constantly have to make impressions, good impression, in order to renew their words every time. Just take a breather, just rest and relax, and appreciate yourself for who you are. Of course, you are not slipping into laziness, because we have listed 4 other points of things you need to do. But while you do them, you still need to appreciate yourself without doing anything. Appreciate yourself as a human being of worth and value. Appreciate yourself as someone who God loves and sees as worthy. These 5 pieces work as a system, and that does not mean you have to wait and finish number 1 before you start number 2, start number 3. No. You are working all of them together. I just highlighted them so that you can get a mental picture of what you are doing. But while you are changing your mind, you are showing up. While you are showing up, you are resting. While you are resting, you are you are having new friendships and new interactions with the people around you. While you are doing that, you are stopping comparison. So it's a continuous system that you are working on. And as you stick with this, your hatred for yourself is going to significantly reduce. You watch it as over the years, you just smile at yourself more. You look at yourself in the mirror and you like what you see. This thing is very possible. And I don't just want you to watch this video and move on with your life like you have always done. But bring out a sheet of paper. Maybe draw out the goals that you want to achieve as the first sign to even show that you are committing to yourself and you're committing to beginning to love yourself. If you don't do anything, you continue self-hatred and you're going to keep watching the next YouTube video on how to love yourself.